Hey everybody. Well, I'm a little tired, but it doesn't matter. We are going to talk about, let me just turn that off. We're going to talk about author's purpose right now. All right, so I need you guys to write down all this in your notes. And I'm going to talk it through here, but you can even pause the video and just write down all this right here. That would be good because that will guide the rest of what we do this whole week. And also you can write down the vocabulary words, spelling test on Friday. Okay. Central idea. Who, what is the text about? What is the author's main point of the subject? So the main idea, right? Central idea. The audience, who might read this text, for whom is it written? That is the audience that the text is written for. When we talk about structure, we're saying how is the text organized? How does the structure impact the reader? How do text features add meaning to the text? So we'll want to look at that, think about the text's structure. Point of view and perspective. How does the author feel about the subject? What is the author's background? Might the author have presented a slant or a bias, right? So is there something that they really believe that even if this is supposed to be objective, you can tell like, oh, this person believes this or that. And you have to take that into consideration when you read their writing. Tone and word choice is another aspect we want to think about. What is the author's attitude towards the subject? Are they, something they're happy about, something they don't like? Is the tone positive or negative, neutral? That's what I just said. What words can you use as evidence to reveal the author's tone? So we even have this thing called the tone wheel. So in the middle are the basic emotions here: fear, surprise, happy, sad, disgust, anger. And then we can follow the, in each color category. Anger could be hurt, threatened, hateful, mad, aggressive, frustrated, distant, critical. And then going further out through the wheel, you have all these words. All these words are in the category of anger, but the further out on the wheel, the less closely it's related to anger, and then the closer ones are closely related to anger, but they're all in that category. So these kind of words tell us the author's tone. So if you see these words, powerless, you see that word powerless, the tone is sad, and so on. So if I ask you what the author's tone is, you can look for these words or words like these, and that will be evidence of a tone, and the tones are in the middle. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, so that's the tone wheel. And I'll put that in Google Classroom at some point. And the author's purpose. So this is our focus this week. Why did the author write the text? That is what we want to think about, okay? In our vocabulary words, so you want to write these down. You want to A, spell the words correctly. B, you want to define the word. And C, be able to correctly use each word in a sentence. You don't have to use all the words in one paragraph. You just have to use the words on their own correctly in a sentence. Okay. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you my annotations for this week's article, which is how to become a student activist. You took some notes already. But the last piece of notes that I want to just tell you about is, so instead of today's learning adventures, I wanted to frame it within the week. Okay, so this is what we end up doing. So that's why I'm framing it this way. So the first thing you're doing this week is taking notes on this ed puzzle, then reading and annotating this week's article. And I want you to post an annotation comment in the collaborator. So we're all going to do the annotations, and then I will put the article in the collaborator, and you're going to open it up in that post and use the comment tool to add an annotation. And then you have to read everybody's annotation and make sure that you don't repeat what somebody else has said. So we're collaborating. Pretty cool. And so, yeah, you definitely want to look here, because any one of these things could be a grade, any one or all of them, but they're all here to help you learn. So complete the author's purpose analysis chart. That is, where is that? It's right here. So this will be posted in Google Classroom for you. And so after you read and annotate the article, you're gonna fill out this chart. Okay, and that will help ultimately determine the author's purpose. So you analyze the purpose. And on Wednesday, or if you get done with these things earlier, you can start chapters 1 and 2 of I Am Malala. Malala. Yeah. Create a list of 5 details that support the author's purpose in what we get from chapters 1 and 2. And we'll be posting details about those in the collaborator. So don't steal other people's details. Try to find some that no one has said yet. On Friday, we are going to take a spelling test. If you're ready earlier and it works, then you could take your spelling test early. But in any case, make sure you can spell, do all those things. And then if you get done with all this early, which I know some people will, then I want to give you a chance to do a level 5 project. So level 5 is a time when, some people will get there, some people won't. Everybody always says, do I have to? No, you don't have to. Okay. But well, you have to if you get there. If you're finished early, then yes, you have to. If you don't finish early, then it won't count against you, but it actually will never count against you unless you finish early and just refuse to do it, But in any case, it's something good for you. So all this stuff we did, all this work we did, now I'm just asking you to apply it and think about something, a cause that is important to you. So anytime we get to a level 5 project, it's something good. It should not be, burdensome, but something interesting for you to work on and apply your learning to real life. So that is that. And then one other thing we'll do this week in your homework, this will be an independent assignment. Make sure you plan on doing this. 10 minutes on each. You may have already done that on Friday, but I want to post practice questions at least one, that you'd like to discuss further in the collaborator. Okay, so hey, we got a full week. It's going to be great. And now for the last part of the video here, I'm going to, well, first pause, and I want you to annotate the article, How to Become a Student Activist. So go to Google Classroom, click on it, open Cami, annotate it, pause this video, and then come back and look at my annotations and your annotations, and you'll be able to post in the collaborator. All right? Okay, at this time, you should have already paused the video. You should have annotated. And now I'm going to show you my annotations. And also, I want to tell you that there's this thing called signposts. And so one signpost we want to think about when we annotate, what am I doing? Is paying attention for contrasts and contradictions used to highlight the main idea or key details in the text. So contrasts are differences, and contradictions are things that make something not true. They contradict the statement, and then all of a sudden, oh, it can't be true because what you just said is a contradiction. Okay, so contrast. This is a contrast right here. While peaceful protests and petitions are still important parts of the toolbox, today's student activists are expanding by bringing activism to the web and social media. So that's a contrast between prior activists and today's activists, bringing the social media and the web into their activism. Or their slacktivism, as we learned last week, huh? Okay, so when I annotated for the different steps, I thought it would be helpful for me to think about a passion that I have, and then think about each step. And this would even help me with my level 5 project. So one of my passions, my personal passions, is a strong families and parental support. So I believe that all students deserve strong support structures in place so that they can learn. And if they don't have that, that is an issue that I would like to fight for. So that's my passion. One of my passions there. Educate yourself. So then the next thing they said, I said, they're saying we got to do some research, and I said to myself, I'd create an annotated source catalog. So that means like you put the source, the web link, and then underneath the source, you put a summary of important information. So then I have my sources. I know which ones to click on for what. That'll help me educate myself. So see if my approach is unique, or yeah, and then I might find that somebody else is doing the same thing, and then I could just join them. Or maybe I have a unique cause, and then I can bring something that nobody else is doing. So that's what I got from that. So basically my annotations are me reading the step and then thinking through it to make sure that I understand it and how I would use the step in my own personal cause. So I hope you're doing the same thing. I am hoping to encourage families to form. So my goal was to form a strong support network for their children. I would need a timeline goals, like do this first, in the first week, in the first month, in the first year, a mission statement and a vision statement. I need to do all that to determine my goal. And so, yeah, I got all these things by reading. I read that, and then I wrote this. I hope that's all. Tap into resources, refer back to the list of sources, reach out to make contact. Step 5, create an action plan. Create a list of goals and action steps that guide the process and measure my success. So we want to make a plan, and we want to know whether we meet our goals. So that's why I said measure my success. And then go. And then I said, at this point, I think creating. So I read this and I said, okay, here's a list of different things I could do. So I said, create a speaker series to form a group of like-minded individuals, present the research to them, work together to launch a campaign. And yeah, so this page was about the different types of activism, and I thought this internet activism could be helpful for my cause. Media, definitely getting a journalist involved to raise awareness. And then I read through these other ones and I kind of thought those are definitely activism, but maybe don't apply to my specific. But then so that's what I got from that page. And here I have found another contrast. While parents and educators may worry about these activities, so activism, this is a very positive article about activism, but they're saying parents and educators, they are going to be worried. And that's true. I did feel a little bit of worry inside myself when I thinking about everyone being active and fighting and stuff like that. It's okay, because this page is about all the different things that you'll gain by just practicing activism, skill development, political involvement, and all of this stuff. You can read it. And so my final annotation was the summary of the skills, and what I gained from it was just practicing activism will help me garner many different skills that I can apply in other professional and personal aspects of life. So that's what I annotated. And so I'd like to see what you annotated. You can pick one thing and post it in the comment section of the organizer. And then if you finished taking these notes, you've read and annotated, then it's time for you to start completing the author's purpose. All right, and then tomorrow we will be looking at our collaborations, answering questions, and making sure that everybody has done the learning adventures 1, 2, and 3 and understands what they have done, so that we are further along in making sure we know what author's purpose is. All right. So sorry that said math. It's pretty bad. All right. Well, okay. I'll see you in class. Bye, everybody.